Greetings YouTubers, Hellshade2 here. This video is going to be called Sports Fan Mentality in Politics. I'm going to express a few thoughts here, and I may not necessarily put them quite right, so bear with me. I'm wondering how many people have noticed of late how should I put this, that that people these days seem to what I call have a sports fan mentality towards politics and political parties. Now, what I mean by that is you'll notice that some people have their own particular sports team, and no matter how good or how bad that sports team does, they always support their team. You know, their team could not have won a Super Bowl or a pennant race or a World Series or whatever your particular sport is in 10 years or 20 years, let's say, but they will always support them. And I'm finding that there is a lot of this going on these days in politics, especially when it comes to Republicans and Democrats. You look at forum boards and you hear the way people talk and how they make statements, and it seems to me like so many people do not even bother to research their candidate on things that they do. They listen to talking points, they listen to propaganda like Fox News, and even MSNBC seems to have more of a left-hand bias, where Fox has an extreme right-hand bias. Right side, right wing, left wing, however you want to put it. And to me, this whole attitude is very detrimental to the country and people in general. Now, you take a look at some of the things that have been going on recently. Now, most people have probably heard recently about the debate with Christine O'Donnell recently about the separation of church and state. Now, a lot of people, all I've been seeing on a lot of forum groups is people saying, well, separation of church and state is not in the Constitution. It's not written there anywhere. Okay, and granted, it's not. It's not physically written that there is a separation of church and state. But there are amendments and other things that kind of like lay down the fact that there is a separation of church and state. And these people seem to think just because it's not in the Constitution, literally written into the main document, that it's untrue. And this is the type of thing that to me, it's kind of like wrong-headed thinking, because you have to take everything into account. That's why there are amendments to the Constitution, to help correct some of these things. And to me, I just can't see it. I think this whole sports fan mentality is dragging the country down even further, because these people will support their party no matter what they say, no matter what they do, no matter how ridiculous or wacky they sound. And this, to me, is a very dangerous thing. I mean, how can you reasonably support people that are speaking what I would call unreasonably? That are bringing up ideas that are unreasonable in this day and age. Well, at least to me, anyway. Maybe these people seem to think that they are reasonable, and personally, I just can't see how people can think what people like Christine O'Donnell say is reasonable. I mean, any right-minded person, any thinking person that has listened to this woman speak can only seriously shake their head and go, what the fuck is wrong with this woman? And that goes to me, that it goes the same with Sarah Palin. Okay? Sarah Palin talks a lot of talking points. She sounds good to certain people of a religious nature. But when it comes to actual facts and actual knowledge, there isn't a lot there. And again, how can you support somebody for a government position that has no knowledge of how government is actually run, and has no knowledge of what government actually does, or shall we say, doesn't even have any real knowledge of world events? I mean, how can you support people like that? I just don't understand it. I really don't. Really don't. It boggles the mind. It really does. I'm telling you, folks. I mean, people are so caught up with this type of mentality that they support one side or the other to their own detriment. Okay, it's like me when I'm looking at political figures. I do a little background on them. I try and look into them as best as I can. I don't just take commercials at their word. I don't take news articles at their word. You got to try and do a little more digging. I mean, you can't always discover the truth, but at least if you try and do a little more digging and look into it, you can be a little more well-informed. Just instead of taking things at face value, because you really can't take TV commercials at face value, no matter which party is actually supporting them or putting them out, because there's just no way of knowing how much political mudslinging is going on there. When it really comes right down to it. I mean, you see so much stuff in these articles, and so much stuff in videos. I mean, you look at. I mean, here's a little point I'd like to make too. When it comes to political videos, I mean commercials. If somebody is slinging mud at the opponent or making outright lies in a commercial, how do you, I mean, even if you support the party this person, is running with, how can you support this person if they're outright lying? If they're lying about, if they're willing to lie in a commercial, what makes you think they're not going to lie to you once they're in office, if they get elected? And this is the type of mentality that just drives me crazy, folks. It really does. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Anybody else? You got some opinions here? Comment. Rate. Pass this video along. If you feel like it, let me know what you think. I mean, because this is, to me, the political scene these days is getting even more and more retarded as the days go on. We're getting all these crazy people out there that really have no clue about the Constitution, what this country was really founded on. And it's getting dangerous. I kind of think it is getting dangerous. But anyway, with that, I'll leave you with all that, and have a great day, and hopefully a pleasant tomorrow. But I don't know if that's going to happen either. Take care.